Hey everyone, I hope you're keeping well. In this video, we're going to have a little bit of fun and we're going to do a Battle of the Brands style video. I know, original name, where I'm going to take 3 ride cymbals out of my collection from 3 different brands. We're going to shoot them off against each other and then we're going to discuss a little bit about what makes a perfect ride cymbal. Before we get into looking at these 3 cymbals, first of all, I just wanted to say I'm actually really close to getting to 1,000 subscribers. So if you do find that you enjoy this video and you'd like more of this similar talking about gear kind of vibe, then please subscribe. I've seen a few things online recently about people talking about no matter how many ride cymbals they've had over, years and years, they've still never quite found that perfect ride. I'm exactly the same. I've been through, out of all cymbals, I've been through more rides than anything. And recently I've started exploring different brands because I'm starting to realize that each brand offers something a little bit interesting. So we've got Zildjian, we've got Istanbul Agop, and we've also got Meinl. This is not going to be a scientific test at all. These cymbals, I guess, are all in a similar vein because they're cymbals that I've chosen for my own taste. That is the only filter that makes them have some similarities. So I've not chosen a metal cymbal from one company followed by a jazz cymbal from the next. They've all got a light to medium weight, generally a sort of semi-traditional finish. So throughout this video, I'm going to include some musical examples because I think playing a cymbal isolated on your own is one experience, but it's also important to see how it fits in a mix and how the mics recreate that sound as well. I think a ride cymbal is such a sticking point for so many players and a hard one to find the ideal sound because the ride cymbal performs so many roles and different roles to different drummers. Firstly, I think the ride cymbal as a sound, with it being quite sustained and all the notes kind of rolling into each other as you play, that adds like a wash and a character over the kit as you're using it. And I think each drummer has their own idea of how that fits in with all the other sounds as it's happening. Like some people really like a bombastic wash. Other people like this really light clarity and definition that almost sits right above the rest of the kit. And I guess it's akin to, they're all just different flavors and tastes. I guess, say like a guitar player choosing different types of distortion. It's definitely a personal thing with the sound and the way it smothers the kit. Secondly, which kind of leads on from the first point really, I think it's a lot about the individual person's experience with the feel of actually playing the cymbal, like the physics of the way the stick returns, and also just things like, is the stick definition above any layer of wash that might be there? Or is it a bit more like the whole cymbal just washes out and you're not really supposed to hear the impact of each hit? Then the bell comes into it, because some people like a bell that sounds like a completely different cymbal essentially on the kit, and it really pings and cuts through the mix. But then other people want their bell to be struck where it feels like the whole cymbal activates that sound as well. So it's like a integrated kind of bell sound. But the thing is, some people want high amounts of stick definition, but maybe a bell that blends. And then other people might want quite which this seems like the hardest thing to get right, is a really washy cymbal that spreads across the kit, but then a bell that can project through that easily. So it's trying to balance a cymbal that's got all these roles to play, like the bell sound, the bow sound, the crash sound for certain players. Trying to balance all aspects of that whilst also making it an enjoyable experience for you to play. I've had these three cymbals for a while now, and it could just be because there's a different logo on there, but I feel like each brand has its own sound. I've definitely played a lot of the Meinl options, and I would say they all have a trashier quality when it comes to the wash of the cymbal. They also tend to favour kind of lighter weights, so more wash, but it's definitely quite an aggressive, trashier sort of wash. Not the kind of thing that is horrible on the ear, but it's definitely a grittier kind of tone is all I can describe it as. When it comes to the Istanbul ride, I sort of feel like, again, that's quite a lighter weight cymbal, but it feels a bit more hi-fi in its sound. So I guess what I mean by that is there's this kind of shiny, glassier top end to it. Like it feels like a brighter cymbal, but somehow it's not harsh. It's like if you were to EQ something, it's already got those areas that are a bit harsh on the ear. They've already kind of been removed. But then that being said, sometimes it doesn't sound like it doesn't fill up the whole mix in quite the same way. With Zildjian, I've noticed that the weight overall is definitely beefed up a little bit compared to the other two. The other two brands are a bit more like what I describe as modern Turkish made cymbals, which generally tend to be very thin. The Zildjian feels a bit more bold, like it goes in going, I'm making a statement. Which for me feels a lot better in a band scenario. It's not necessarily as inspiring to play when I'm just practicing on my own, but when I'm in a band, it just feels like it's got a bit more projection to it. It just kind of sits there in the mix perfectly, ready to go, and I don't have to like overplay it. Whereas I think the other two cymbals, when I have tried to gig those, I've definitely had to, or I feel like I've got to over hit to where I feel comfortable. So yeah, I think Zildjian are kind of a halfway house. It's just like a classic cymbal sound, not too over processed, like not too bright or not too trashy, just kind of like a general purpose sound, but also a sound that is perfect for like a situation where there's more than one instrument happening. At this point, hopefully I've given you a sense of what these three cymbals are like compared to each other. Let me know which one's your favourite. And also I'd love to hear what you look for in a ride and what your favourite ride cymbal is if you found one, or maybe the one you're hoping to get next. Thanks again for watching. As always, a like and a subscribe would really mean a great deal to me. And I'll see you in the next video.